Okay guys, today we're going to be looking at coordinate geometry, right? Specifically in coordinate geometry, what we're going to be looking at today would be the gradient of a line, how to find the gradient of a line if you're given 2 points. We're going to be looking at the midpoint of a line, and we're going to be looking at the length of a line. So the first thing we're going to look at is the gradient, right? Gradient is basically how steep a line is, and first thing that will come to mind when talking about steepness would be hills, right? We know that some hills might be more difficult to climb than others, right? So let's just like take for example this pen was a hill, right? So we have the hill here, and let's assume that the duster is also a hill, right? But we have this hill that you have to climb, and then you have this hill that you have to climb. Just by looking at it, the duster is a little more upright than the pen, right? It's a little straighter to the y-axis, so that will be the steeper hill, right? So I think everybody knows steeper hill. Now in maths we could actually work out how steep a line is just by given 2 points, right? So the bigger the number you get for the gradient means the more steep this line is. The smaller the gradient means less steep it is, right? So we have the formula here, which is, so we need 2 points. y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. So we're not going to like go into it right now, later on in the lesson, right? So the next thing that we're going to look at, and we're going to look at all three of them together, right? And you're going to see how easy that is the midpoint of a line. Now if I give you two numbers and I ask you to find the middle of it, what you'll normally do is add the two numbers and then divide it by 2, right? So it's the same thing. If I give you 2 points and I want to know what's the point in the middle of them, we would, because remember the point in the middle would have to have two numbers, right? An x number and a y number. You take the two two x numbers you have, 2x coordinates, add them and divide it by 2. Then you take the two y numbers that you have and divide them by 2. Okay, remember that a point will have two numbers in it, an x and a y coordinate, right? So I'll show you how we will be using that just now. And then the last one that we'll be doing for this session would be the length of a line. So again, you would have 2 points, the start and the end point, and we would label one as your first point, which would be like your x1 y1, and the second point would be your x2 y2, right? And then we'll substitute it into this formula. Okay, so we're going to look at it. Let's look at how we're doing questions with it, right? So you realize it's not that difficult.